Buddy, hour two, Hot Migrator Rock and Roll. We've got Summit League women's basketball here on WDAY Extra tonight. The Bison women open up conference play at home as the Denver Pioneers are coming to town. Coverage begins at 7 right here on Extra. The Bison won their league opener last Saturday as they knocked off St. Thomas on the road. It's 10 o'clock on a Thursday, which means we welcome in the head coach of the Bison women, Jory Collins, joins us on this Thursday. It was the odd schedule. We talked about this a couple weeks ago that you had the one game, you didn't play two. How did you handle that last week? Obviously you won, but was it disjointed, or how did you set up last week?
No, it was good. You know, we got back down. We scheduled that Dakota Wesleyan game on purpose right there after Christmas, knowing we had the bye just to get some action in, knowing we had the Wednesday or Thursday off or whatever. So, we didn't play very good in that game and knocking some Christmas rust off and probably needed it. But it did allow us, kind of a full week to get ready for St. Thomas. We got to watch. They played on a Thursday at 1, so we kind of got to watch them play a full game right in the middle of our preparation. So, I thought our players were locked in. They're always excited to play there. Obviously, that's going home for them. Yeah. And as we were talking off, I mean, we had a ton of green and gold in the stands and a lot of their former teammates from high school there, and just a great contingent of Bison faithful rooting us on in that game.
To have that, you mentioned it was kind of a slow start there to start the first, 4 or 5 minutes. What hit? Was it the media timeout? You getting into them? What changed after that slow start?
Yeah, I mean, putting the ball in the basket, nothing really. I didn't think our execution needed to change or anything like that. We just, had some roll in and out, in and around the basket, some offensive rebounds we didn't put back just, to get the lid off for the game. I think we scored 26 points in the second quarter, but the 11 in the first was just kind of a sluggish start. That happens every once in a while on the road, but we settled in. I thought our defense and rebounding was pretty steady for 4 quarters. That's something we've been leaning on here lately. So, the defense travels motto worked well for us. And, they have some good offensive players, and to hold them to 59, I thought was a good job.
I was going to hop off on that. You held them to 59, and they have some talented players that can score. I know how much you love your defense. How much of a takeaway did you have from that from Saturday?
Well, I've been asking our team, kind of what's our identity? What's our identity going to be? Early in the year, the first 4, 5, 6 games, we didn't rebound the ball as near as well as I thought we were going to rebound it coming into the year, Dom. And we harped on that for 10 days. And I think one of the Mondays we didn't have to get ready for somebody. We rebounded for an hour and just really put an emphasis on it. And I think since then our last 4 games were like plus 58 on the glass. And we won the rebounding margin by 21 on Saturday, 21 against Dakota Wesleyan, but 11 against Boise, 5 against Washington. So different teams there, but have just been much more competitive, in that area of the game. And if that can become kind of who we are, I think our half-court defense has been really good. The only times we've really struggled defensively, I think, have come from poor offense more than our defensive principles and things. So I've been really pleased with the young group of how they've come along, in guarding.
Avery had another double-double. There was one play she took the ball, little elbow, and scored down low. I thought that aggressiveness, that was something you've been probably preaching all year, right?
Yeah, it's been great to see. I mean, she's so much more physical this year than she was last year. She still has room to go, and she's still got more left there, for sure. But she has come a long ways. And, she's one. I was looking the other day, she's kind of gotten off to slow starts in the first quarter and then come on second, third, and fourth. I think the first quarter, getting her going there will get her from a 13 and 11 to 16, 17 and 11. And, that's kind of what I envisioned for her, because I just think she's so capable of that.
To get a win to start Summit League play, especially a road win, it almost feels like 2 when you go in and get a victory like that on the road.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially, when everybody else is playing and you're not, and you have your one chance that week, and it's a road game. I mean, you would hate to just be the only team playing one game and then not get a dub. And have to sit there and maybe feel like you're already 3 games back of somebody that went 2-0 or something. And obviously early in the year, you're never really thinking like that, but it was to go get a road win in your first one and your first opportunity. Probably can't ask for more there out of our group.
Your three freshmen all were really, really good. Marissa Frost has been, Claire Stern was good, Amelia Hobson, which I want to get to her in a second. But just that, the amount of points you got out of freshmen, I mean, if you get, I don't know if that's consistent, if you can do that, but holy cow, if that's possible, that's a major boon for your team.
Yeah, they were all three of them were really good. I think they went 10 for 12 from the field. Scored 26, 27 points, I think, between the three of them. So very efficient, but also played really good defense. I mean, they didn't stand out in a bad way at all on that end of the floor either. I think they're all three really talented. I thought Claire had the play of the game. She had a great, drive from the top of the key at a time where they kind of tightened it back up to 6 or 7 there in the late third, maybe early fourth quarter, and she got downhill and kind of got an and one. It was a really good play. I think they're just getting more comfortable and having some expectations for themselves. I don't know if that efficiency is sustainable, 10 for 12. I'll take it
Yeah.
every single time. But I'm much more impressed with their mindset, how fast they're learning. They're all, students of the game and they're fun to coach.
We have not had a hell of a lot of time to talk about Amelia Hobson, Jory. Give us the backstory on finding her and what her ability is. Just watching a couple of highlights as we are right now, she's got length that's just not common in the Summit League, maybe is my best way to describe it.
Yeah, Amelia, was put on our radar and started watching film, started talking with Amelia, loved her as a person. Loved her, that's the exact thing when you put the film on what stands out is just length. But she's all of 6'1", probably has a longer wingspan than that. A really good ball handler for that, is probably a combo guard. She played a lot of point guard, back home. The thing with Amelia that's taken some time is, one, she's young for her age. She gets here halfway across the country, but can't get here until August, so misses all of summer. And just to jump right into that, there's so many other things besides basketball that you have to get acclimated to as a young person like that most people can't really fathom or put themselves in those shoes very easily. And she's somebody who wants to be good. She's a perfectionist. It's really hard for her early, when you're getting corrected on every possession. Hey, we don't stand like that. When the ball's here, this is what your stance is. When the ball's over here, this is what your stance is. When this happens, this is the communication. Well, you take that times 50 every day, and it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And you just have to be able to step back and take a deep breath. And when coaches talk about, the process, I mean, that's what they're talking about, is just being able to have things slow down for you and have it catch up. And here she is now here in January where things have started to slow down finally a little bit for her, and she can go out and play, use her ability level to go out and just play the way she knows how to play without having to think quite so much. So, I mean, the sky's the limit for her potential. It's really just going to be her continued growth and maturity and getting acclimated and letting the game slow down for her.
It's just, you see that for her acclimating, does that give you more trust to go out there and give her some more minutes as you go forward?
Yeah. There's no question, Dom, when we've struggled this year, it's been because we haven't maybe been as explosive offensively. She's a very, very good, I don't even know what her numbers are, but I can tell you from watching her in practice through the last 6 months, she's a really good scorer. She's a really good shooter. I usually feel pretty good about it when she lets it go. She just has a chance to be a good scorer at this level, has the right mindset and the right skill set to do it. It's just, your first time out, the first 3 times, it's like, hey, we're in this offense. Where do I go after I pass it? That's what you're worried about instead of, hey, what kind of basketball play can I make? And again, like I said, those things are starting to slow down for her. So now she knows where and when her opportunities are and is taking advantage of those, especially the other day.
Chris Witzke's shooting nearly 45% from 3. Is that a number that you thought she could get at? Is that surprising you right now?
Anytime somebody shoots 45, I think that's probably a little surprising. There's not very many people doing that. Right. I think she's top 30 something in the country. and that's excellent.
Really good.
Yeah, but she shot it well last year as a freshman
Yeah.
too. I think the thing with AK and her and I have talked about when she's set, when it's catch and shoot, it almost always feels really good, like it's going to go in. The time where she has to on the move a little bit, and maybe off a dribble, those are areas where she got to keep going.
Yeah.
But we have good enough players with Marissa breaking people down, Schulte breaking people down, post players that draw attention. The inside out opportunities for her have been pretty good. Um, and she's just shot the heck out. She's had
Yeah.
like and if you take out Dom, the 2 games maybe where she's 0 for 6 or whatever, we had a couple clunkers on the road.
Yeah.
And I mean, take those out, then she's well over 50%, and it's just elite level shooting. So it's been fun to watch her progress there.
Frost had a couple plays, and we've talked, I know, ad nauseum about her, but she had one in the game Saturday. She goes behind her back, drives. We showed it and got an and one. I mean, I know you had high hopes, but even are you sitting back like, all right, that's pretty darn good?
No, because I'm telling you, I watched her and I just knew that what she
Yeah.
was doing in high school and how she played in AAU and stuff was going to translate really good to our
It
league. I
is,
mean,
man. Whew.
it was just she was going against good enough competition that had trouble staying in front of her and making plays against her that you just knew, hey, I think she's gonna be able to make plays for us pretty quick. And you know, everybody who doesn't want her to go left, she's very capable of going right, but she just doesn't have to very much because she can still get left. Even when you're trying to keep her, that particular play, Jade Hill really overplayed her. She took one dribble left and went behind the back and still went straight, still shot a left-handed layup,
Yeah.
and got the and one. So she's pretty good and pretty crafty in there.
All right, Denver up tonight. They still have a couple familiar faces. We know in Jordan Jones and Emma Smith. What do you know about this Pioneers team that you're going to see coming in here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, always scary. Anytime they're bringing in, Emma Smith's been a great scorer in
Really
this
good.
league. JoJo Jones is, top 10 player in this league without question. Um, and just hard matchup for us, really. She's a bully driver. She can play inside and out, good athlete, great at getting fouled. She's just a really, really good scorer in the Summit League and just in general. I don't know that Emma Smith's percentage right now is what it has been in the past, but that means nothing to us. I've seen her make
Yeah.
shots, for years already. So the urgency on those two is going to be, really important. And they've added some other athletes that's really their pace is probably a little slower now, but they're I think much better defensively. As a team, they look a little more connected on that end of the floor. So they've been good. I mean, they won some good games. It'll be a great competition tonight.
I know you've been on the road so much. How much of you just are you eager to have a normal schedule? Here we go. We're going to play Thursdays and Saturdays and be back home for these two.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited about it. Just when we talked to our team, I think the other day, before practice about, hey, we got a chance to it's great to be able to get into a rhythm.
Yep.
It's great to be able to say, hey, on Mondays, we know we're doing this. On Tuesdays, we know we're doing this kind of practice and prep. And we do, I think we sprinkle in maybe 3 Wednesday games, this year. So that'll be a little different. But to be able to get into that regular schedule. And again, for us now traveling, going over to St. Thomas was like, it wasn't even a road game.
Walk in the park, right?
Yeah, it was a 3-hour bus ride and one night in a hotel and we're back home. The net, 36 hours later, that was nothing. So, I hope that pays off for us when we get on the road here next week and do some of those things that we're pretty used to it. But it'll be fun to be in the Shack this weekend. Obviously, 2 really good games and important ones. And we're looking forward to it.
I know you're worried about Denver. Oral Roberts coming in on Saturday, Jory, and I know people that watch our show that follow what's going on. They've seen ORU pick off a couple of high majors already. I know they always have your attention, but are they constructed differently, or are they just better than what we saw the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, no, they're the same.
Okay.
They got a lot of the same kids. Again, it's just they're a year older.
Yeah.
A little year older, a year more experience in their system and what they do. So that just tightens everything up just a little bit more. Less mistakes. Another team that's probably more connected, than you were playing a bunch of freshmen last year. And, Talia Jones is a new player. they got a lot of offensive firepower, and they play that way. They'd like to, put you in chaos and a little scramble situations and people flying around everywhere, and you got to be able to make play. You got to take care of the ball, and you got to be able to make plays in there. And if you can get them into a half court game, you got a chance. If it's a, turnover fest and a up and down going crazy, then you're going to be in a dogfight. But they do a great job with their scheme and their system. It's unique, and it can give you problems.
What was the game in Sioux Falls then last year? How would you describe that? Was it a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. I mean, we were trying real hard to just get it across and execute. They were trying real hard to get us to speed up and do a bunch of different things. And they got us for a while. We got them for a while, and we were lucky enough to hold on there.
Before I let you go, one of your incoming recruits is now on the team, is here in Carrington Asp. How has that gone, and how is the transition for her now that she is done with high school and now is part of your roster?
Yeah, it's been awesome to have her here. She's whatever they say, drinking water out of a fire hydrant. She jumped right in the first day, and I think after 2 days of practice, her legs didn't work very good. Just so sore and tired immediately. You think you're in shape, but and we're in the middle of the season, so it's not like these are easing into practices. She's been on scout team every day, gets to just go at our group and has made a ton of plays already. It's fun to watch her. I mean, she's got a great ceiling. This semester, just being able to get acclimated to travel, watching us do prep for games and be a part of that and the scout team, and then get in the weight room a whole bunch. Her and Taryn are spending a lot of time in the weight room together, and it's going to be great for both of them.
Can you address the allegations that the Chiefs did not want to see the Bengals, and that's why they played the way they did on Sunday?
Yes. What a joke. I mean, come on. I don't know. When's the last time the Bengals beat the Chiefs? I think we're 3-0 against them.
You got a good run going now. Yep.
And they were going to have to beat the Bills anyways.
It's true. Correct.
Like they were going to come in and that's who we were playing in the first round. I mean, come on. I didn't expect us to get blown out by 38.
Yeah.
After watching the game, I don't know. I think we were in base cover 2 for 95% of the game and did absolutely nothing as far as scheming to try to do anything in that game.
Would you want to see Denver again? Do you have who do you prefer for your first game here?
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I like those where they get you really good and feel really good about themselves, and then you give them a total different look.
Either way, you got to play ball. It's you guys and the Bills. That's the way it has to be that way for me. I want to see them in Buffalo again.
Yeah, so. I think it'll be a great one. Every one of them has been.
Right?
They've been down to the last possession.
All of them have been awesome. So good to see you as always, my man. Thanks for the time. I'll see you tonight at the Shack, okay?
Okay, thanks, Dom.
Jory Collins joins us each and every Thursday at 10 o'clock. Bison and Denver coming up tonight at 7. And then a reminder, the game on Saturday is a noon start. Oral Roberts NDSU is a noon tip-off on Saturday. I would highly encourage Saturday to come find that one. Ruthie Adomo is fantastic. He mentioned Talia Jones. Those games last year were in the 90s. I would anticipate we're going to have an up-and-down affair on Saturday. Oral Roberts plays the UND women tonight in Grand Forks. We're overdue for a break. We'll take one here. We got a couple emails to catch up on, and we got Sam coming up here in about 10 minutes' time. We're back on Hot Mic on a Thursday morning. Back after this.